Today's episode is sponsored by Taylor Health. Taylor Health focus on an integrative approach and specialise in preventative lifestyle factors that can optimise overall health and well-being. From health coaching, looking at lifestyle and behaviours, functional nutrition, meal planning and recipes, phlebotomy services for health screening for a multitude of reasons including health monitoring, fertility testing, pre and post surgical testing, sports and athletic performance testing and hormone monitoring. They also provide therapeutic venesection for individuals with hemochromatosis and those on testosterone replacement therapy. Let Taylor Health prioritise your health and well-being, and be sure to mention the Jim King Show to receive your discount. You can now click on the link in the description of this video for all services. Thank you for everyone watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode.
My wee boy was 2, my wee lassie was only born 14 days. I'd never been in prison before either. So I took a code blue, which is a bad turn, and on the legal high, and I fell, collapsed, and while I was taking the bad turn, like, they all started beating fuck out. I couldn't breathe, I was dying. I didn't think I was going to last another day in the jail. That was going to be me. I was thinking about how easy doing my cell and my jumper and all that, and I couldn't, looking for bits to tie it on to, and I was sitting, I was greeting and everything that night.
So it was the female screws that were getting into you?
One of the boys ended up in a relationship with Hiram and all that in there, man. Man's come round the corner, because I'm not meant to be in the street, but when I started running up, but there was another motor come down, and before you know it, man, they came right down, man, bang, everything up about 20 foot in the air. Addiction leads to 2 roads, and it's a prison yard or a graveyard, and see if it's a graveyard, our kids go to our funerals that day, they need to see us getting put in the ground, and then they need to ask where their daddy is the rest of their life.
The inspirational Paul Barrett. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Cheers, Jim. It's good to be back.
It's great to have you back for a part 2. I think the audience were crying out for it. Such an amazing story. In part 1, we tapped into a lot about your life and growing up and how you ended up going through addiction, putting your family through hell, and then getting into the recovery side of things. Starting your own group, Addicted2Life. So before we move into these other subjects, if you can speak me through, I know your group's now evolving, you're getting a lot more interest, so if you can speak me through where the group is at the now.
The now, we've got, that's the group we've started, we've got a wee committee set up in the group now. We're in the middle of getting constituted. We've got a wee sober raving that lined up, we've got the camping trip on the 3rd of August, so we've got some things all gone good for us anyway.
It's amazing, mate, because I've now been to 2 of your meetings. I'm not sure if we mentioned it in the part 1, but we arranged for me to come up, do a comedy set. That was a tough one for me because I had to sit and listen to the whole shares, do a share myself. I get emotional because it's all right being funny in front of an audience and doing a bit of comedy, but when you are speaking about your real emotions in front of people, then it's a different setting altogether.
Aye.
But how was the feedback on that meeting?
Oh, they loved it. As soon as they finished, everybody said it was the best meeting they've ever been at. It was probably the best meeting I've ever been at.
You had a share from a guy from Keep the Heat.
Aye, he was there. He's 21 years sober. He done a share and all. We had a sober shuffle that day. We had yourself in doing a comedy set. And it was a great meeting.
What was the feedback in the comedy set, Paul? Because I was a bit nervous for that one.
They loved it. Aye, especially some of the stories. I better not say any.
Just real stories. And that's what I try and base the comedy on. It's like trauma, you know. And I've always tried to make it funny. Aye. And it's like a way of healing, expressing yourself that way. I find it easier to use it to get the message out there through comedy than I do through speaking about real emotions. You know, and that's my way of doing it. Aye. But so we'll move into. We want to talk about your own mental health, right? Because we covered a few things in part 1, as I say, but this is really important because you've got such a presence now, you've such a power, people are looking up to you, you've got that expectation now, providing this space for people, giving them a chance to speak, and it's like a healing for everybody. And it's such a power even people that I know that had came to the group for the first time, they were saying they could feel the energy in the room. It's an amazing thing that you're setting up, mate. So for your own mental health, I know you had a lot of experience with the prison system, stuff like that, right? But if you can speak me through the way your mental health is in this moment in time.
Right now, my mental health, I've got a good mindset now. I'm waking up every day. I've got a healthy mind. But in the past, like, I've had all sorts through my psychosis, through deaths in the family, things like that. Just all the kind of things broke my mental health down, obviously through staying up through 4 and 5 days at a time and stuff like that. All deteriorates your mental health, and before you know it, I end up fucking suicidal.
I know you spoke to me about how you were suicidal while you were in prison. That must have been extremely tough because you're in that type of environment. There's many stories there from prison that we never spoke about. So we can get into that first, right? And then we'll dive into more about Addicted2Life and stuff like that. But how is your mental health? I know when you were first put into was it Addywell?
Aye.
So you were first put into Addywell. What was your mental state like then? Because it must have been really difficult.
It was brutal. When I just it was the 20th of December 2017, and my wee boy was 2. My wee lassie was only born 14 days. I'd never been in prison before either, so you were getting in and then you were locked in the doors every night, and then you're obviously, what I said before, like, you were wondered what people were got to think here, you got to like you. But when I went in, like a couple of guys didn't really, I was going with Mason them, but a couple of them just didn't like my face, and they were taking it like that, fucking, oh, you're a fat 60 days in programme and all, just because they'd never seen me before, no things like that. So all the kind of things were playing on my head. And then, as you know, other things happened for that day.
What's the 60 days in programme? What's that?
It's like a guy, he goes in and he goes about the jails in America, and they make a good documentary about it. But he was saying that, you're a grass and all that, know what I mean? So it's making my... But other cunts are listening to that in there, and you know what? People start thinking things and then try and put it on, you know what I mean?
I know you had many different experiences, stuff that we'd never spoke about in the first interview. But in this interview, we're going to get into more detail because it shows you the trauma that people need to go through in a system like that, in an environment like that. So I know you had an event where you were involved in an attack. It was like a group attack on yourself because you were intoxicated. Can you talk me through that from start to finish in detail?
Aye, well, I was trying to join in with the boys, try to fit in, like sitting with all the who's who and all that. What they done was, we were all sitting together and it was 2 of them that didn't really like us. They were saying that 60 days in thing, they were there. And there was about 7 or 8 of us all sitting in a cell, and they were all smoking legal, but what they done, they set me up. They put it in, it's legal comes sprayed on letters in it's chemical form. And you put it in your roll up or whatever it was and you smoked it. So what they done, they put hunters in mine, and I'd smoked, they go, just keep smoking it. So I'd smoked hunters there. And before you know it, I'd took a code blue, which is a bad turn, and on the legal high, and I fell, collapsed, and while I was taking the bad turn, like, they all started being fuck it, I couldn't breathe, I was dying, and instead of helping us, they were punching us in the back and kicking us in the face and kicking us in the belly and things like that. It was horrible, man.
What was your feeling? Is that like a moment in time as well? Because when you're getting kicked and punched from all different angles, what sort of emotions are you going through then? Are you thinking, I'm going to die here?
Because I felt as if I was going to die after legal as it was, and I couldn't breathe. So, like, I just felt as if the life was draining out me on that flare, and it felt as if it was going on for about 20 minutes, and it must have only lasted about 20 seconds or something. It was near enough a dub up time at night, so what they'd done that to me, and while they left me sitting there, so they would get dubbed up just after it for night time, and I had to lie, the screws came shut my door, and then I had to lie what they'd done, still owed me, and then had that kicking, but see, when the doors had been shut, like, I had to lie with my thoughts, like, am I going to be able to handle this sentence, and am I going to get terrorised, like, and the body kind of things went through, like, I was going to do myself in that night. I didn't know what I was going to do, like how I was going to handle it. It ended up happening again after that and all, and one of the boys were in the cell, and it was just me and him, and he tried to do it and all, but he was in a condition, the two of us ended up kind of rolling about, but that was the kind of last thing that people tried to kind of put it on us that day. Because the night that first time it happened, I didn't think I was going to last another day in the jail. Thought that was going to be me. I was thinking about how easy doing my cell and my jumper and all that, and I couldn't, looking for bits to tie it on to, and I was greeting and everything that night. It was horrible, man.
Did you say you were paired up with somebody in the cell? Or?
No, everybody's in single cells in Adwell.
Right, so that must be hard as well, because you know you've been through that, the attack, the physical abuse, then the mental torture, your own mind, when you're in the cell yourself, and you're saying you're looking for ways that you could maybe hang yourself in a way. Do you know what I mean?
I was just choking to end it, because I knew I had to go back into the hall the next day and try and be normal and face all these cunts again and all that. So I had to just kind of wash it off my back and water off the duck's back, kind of hang and let it go. And a couple of them ended up getting moved anyway for doing other thing. One of them ended up fighting me an old guy, and he tried to terrorise this old guy, but the old guy ended up fighting me on back and all that, and the boy didn't like it either. But then other things like that, as I said, that woman too, man, they dubbed, I have to tell everybody to get dubbed up, and this guy just refused. Big massive bear too, man, and they've all got the screws on and that, and this woman's ran out to him, and the big boy's just fucking folded all that deck chair, man, on the hang, man.
So wait a minute, so it was a female screw?
A female screw, aye.
So what happened then? So the guy was refusing?
They dubbed us all up, and he'd sat his dinner, and never didn't go out into his door, so we were all behind the doors, and you can see all through this, there's all wee fucking gaps in the door, so I was watching out it, man. So the boys stood hanging, the fucking woman's running on, man, the big boys just fucking folded all that deck chair, and that's for the riot cunts and all that were in for.
Knocked her out?
Aye, they carry him out, they never hang it, they all lifted him out, like legs, arms, everything, and then right out the end of the hall, man. I was like, what the fuck have I got myself into here, man?
Such a crazy environment. As you said, so when you are sitting in the cell, like that night, I'll take you back to that, because, and you're looking for places just to end that pain, because you're going through it and then you're thinking, is this going to happen to me constantly? But see, when you've got through that, right? Obviously you never ended it, and you thought to yourself, so see when you went out into like recreation or to face everybody again, what was your mindset then? Did you have to put on a mask to say, right, I'm going to stick up for myself now because I don't want to be treated like this anymore?
I did put on a mask, but inside I was fucking shiting myself every day. Like, you don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know if, like, you've got visits and that at the weekend booked, and you don't want to go up all black and blue, and you don't know if somebody's got to slash you, and so you need to put on a mask. You need to kid on, you're ready for them day, you know what I mean, kind of thing. Because they'll just put it on you in a second, and the rest of your sentence would just be a fucking misery.
I think it's really important with that type of, the prison system, for example, that they all talk about reforming and stuff like that and rehabilitation, but in a way, a lot of people don't get rehabilitated because, like you say, they need to act like a different way. They can't be authentic. So what sort of mindset does that create when they are getting ready for release? They've already created this fake sense of themselves to be a hard man,
and the egos popping out their heads, and
do you know what I mean? So for people to get rehabilitated, I feel that there's got to be massive changes there. But how do you put these changes in place when you've got the types of people all in together and everybody's putting on a front? It's a never-ending cycle of chaos.
Definitely, it's a hard one to fix that.
Did you ever, when you did do your sentence, did you ever befriend anyone? Was there people helping you in a way, or were you kind of just rolling with yourself?
I had to kind of wing it. There was one boy that I knew, he ended up in with my neighbour, in fact, but he got moved straight away. But there was another boy from Banter that I knew, and I was kind of camped up with him and got on alright with him. He ended up getting out like a month before me, and then I got in the tag.
So you've mentioned the tag there, right? And I've had a few characters with a tag now. Can you see that there? Right, go put it up to the camera and we'll get a wee swatch of that.
That's the Blanter Rolex.
It's a great name for it, Paul. So see, when did you get the tag?
I got it in the 1st of March this year for something that happened in the midst of my addiction in July last year. Before I got into recovery and get sober, and I ended up finding me two of my pals with high Blanter. As I said before, I ended up with M's and all that, but
I think you spoke about
drugs
that
and stuff.
Case.
They go away with it, I ended up getting charged, but that's what fucking usually happens. The dickhead gets fucked caught.
That's it, mate. It's karma, isn't it?
Aye.
But so you've had that for the 1st of March. When do you get the tag off?
The 1st of August, but I'm going tomorrow to maybe, hopefully, touch wood, get it changed to 10 at night so I can run meetings at night and stuff like that. Well, obviously get the rest of the summer out it with the rains and that and all, as you know.
What's your restrictions now with the tag in?
7 p.m. at night to 7 in the morning.
Right, and is it, so I know you were saying it was based on your parents' address.
Aye, it's no at my partner's address with my kids and that, or it's at my parents' address, so I'm up there, and obviously I'm doing every day with my kids and that, but you need to see having to, obviously they can come up to my dad's and that, but see having to, no staying with them and stuff like that, having to leave them, and you're up there like, my addiction and that ended up getting bad through that before, because you're stuck with your own thoughts and all that every night. So see, if obviously I'm in recovery now, but what things see getting up every night and you're back to your, I'm 34, know what I mean, you're getting back to your Molstein, you feel like a fucking dick, know what I mean?
Aye, but it like I said, so it's still lingering there, you, that system,
Aye.
that sense of containment, control, but it'll not be long till you're free of that.
Aye.
And it's even just sitting with you can tell the shift in mindset. I never knew you when you were an addict, and you never knew me, but we had a laugh earlier saying, imagine the two of us together when we were both addicts. I think that would have been chaos. But it's such a, that's where the inspiration does come from, because when you're doing your meetings, when you're creating that space, like I said, people look up to you, because when you can come for going from nothing to something to everything, where you've been like a criminal, an addict, and you're living in a life of chaos, when you can transmute all of that into like a form of light for other people to see, that's where the inspiration comes from. That's where people sit up and take notice. They think, wow, that's powerful, that story, you know. And I know the feedback in episode 1, there was loads of people messaging me, talking to me in the street, saying to me, and they were emotional, and they were saying, I wish that group was available when my ex-partner was alive, because that could have saved him, you know what I mean, because there was nothing else there, and that was the same type of life that they had, but they never made it through the chaos. They were either committed suicide or they had a drugs overdose. Do you know what I mean? So it's such an amazing thing that the service that you're providing for not just people in the community. I know there's people travelling from afar to just come to these meetings. So it's an inspirational thing, mate. So well done for that.
Cheers, Jim, mate. Aye, we've got people coming from Ayrshire or Glasgow, everywhere, man. And just what you said there, like with people who are talking to you and saying, I wish people would, like, I get hundreds of messages like that daily saying, I wish my partner and that was there, like when your group was there and things like that, and maybe it would have saved them, maybe they'd still be here. Maybe they would. It's heartbreaking, isn't it, man?
Aye, but that's what I'm saying, and that pushes you every day, because it's not just an expectation for other people, but it's you waking up now with a purpose.
Aye, I've
saying, right, I've got this is your drug now.
Aye.
I mean, you're addicted to life, but you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your family, first of all, and then you're providing all this stuff for other people.
Aye.
And for them to have that respect for you and looking up to you, it's like I said, an expectation, right? But that keeps you on the path, mate.
Aye, definitely, man.
And it keeps other people on the path. And that's what draws me to it, because I love nothing more than, because at the end of the day, we're both addicts, right? So we need an addiction, right? And I always try and say it this way, but we can have healthy addictions. We can be addicted to life. We can be addicted to healthy things that's going to be good for our mind, pushing us out our comfort zone, something that's scaring us. Like even coming into the studio.
Aye, what we're doing now.
like we're doing the now, and it's like, because you get a rush off it, you get a buzz, a natural high, and that's where the true meaning of life is. You know, we don't need alcohol, we don't need drugs, we don't need all this chaotic criminal lifestyle to get the feelings.
No.
We are addicts, but we, like I said, we need healthy, natural rushes, natural highs that's going to really pushes every day, like you're doing, mate. So it's amazing to just sit here with you and speak about these things.
Cheers, Jim. I love speaking about stuff like this anyway, man.
Because we can get emotional about it. But so we'll dive right back into the group again, right? Because there's loads we can talk about. So now it's starting to, like I said earlier, it's starting to evolve, right? Addicted to Life. Everybody's talking about it. You're starting to get more people wanting you to come on to different shows. It's like more events. People are wanting to give you funding. If we can break it down now, right, into different settings, different, we'll structure it different. But we'll start off with, I know it's evolving, you were talking about getting your committee and stuff up and running. Can you talk me through that?
Well, to get my group constituted, we had to get a committee sorted to get constituted. So we had to get a chairman, a treasurer and a secretary. So we've got the two. So I'm the chairman, and we've got two. I've got a lassie, it's a treasurer, and the lassie, it's the secretary. So that's all been sorted. I've been in contact with local councillors for my area, and they'd put me through to a lassie called Janet, and that's helping us. So she's helping us doing all the constitution thing in the group, and there's other places helping us like Vassland and all that, South Lanarkshire, that's like Volunteers in Action, South Lanarkshire. So they're all helping us out with it. As you know, I'm just a boy for high plant. I don't really know a lot about all the ins and outs with Aiken a bit, so that's why I'm getting hands out here and there.
There's definitely a lot of more people reaching out. I had people that I knew after they watched the episode were saying to me, I want to help that guy. And it was a lassie that's really high up with the funding side of things. And she's saying, I want to give them funding. I want to take the group out on excursions, canoeing down the rivers and stuff like that. So it's an inspiring thing, because when people like that have got the reach and that have got the ability to get funding and because you think about it, especially in Blantyre, there's no many people in that environment that have got the options. There's nothing there for people.
No.
So for you to say, right, we're having a day trip, we're getting on the minibus and we're going canoeing or we're going camping, or we've got people coming that are inspirational, telling their stories, that's like gold for people.
Aye.
And I wish I had that. When I was younger, there was nothing there for me. Do you know what I mean? So that must be really, really good for your mind to see people starting to get better as well.
Definitely, man. It feels great, man, because we've got guys that were broken coming in my doors that meeting, absolutely broken, suicidal themselves, and now they're obviously, I'll not be there tomorrow because I'm going to get that changed and that, but they're going to chair my meeting and that, you know what I mean, the first meeting that they're chairing, stuff like that. Guys in that have probably never been out of Blantyre, things like that are going to be going to camping trips. I know it's not a fucking holiday and all that, but it's a night out, a proper day doing proper things, like camping, as you say, a cold water exposure, a hill walk, campfire meeting, and then we've got sober raves and all these kind of things lined up. And with this group, down the line, I want Addicted2Life to become a community like the Beacons and stuff. I want it to maybe be able to get jobs out it for group members, for myself, to maybe be able to get guys a peace of mind in life, know what I mean?
I think that's definitely going to go there, and even further, because it's definitely grabbed my attention. You invited me on the camping trip. I'm going to cancel now. I'm only kidding. But I'm looking forward to it, because you're saying you want a space in the bus, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, one flew over the cuckoo's nest with that bus. but that's my type of thing. Aye. You know, I like all that, because I come from a chaotic background, but to be round about that environment and everybody sober and telling all their stories, I think it's great, you know, and I love to tell a story, as you know. So you've not even gave me the full details yet, but I feel like, what date's it?
The 3rd of August, we're going to go to we've got to do the meeting that day at the John Ogilvie Chapel. We'll leave for the chapel at 2 o'clock. We're getting up the bus and all that, Singmead. We've got tents and all that, everything's all paid for with the group. I think it's Lusset we're going to go to up there.
Right.
So it'll be good, man.
I'm excited for that one.
Aye.
So you were talking about there people coming through your doors, right? You must have so many, we won't name names obviously, right? Because we don't want to talk about certain individuals, but we can talk about their types of stories, because when we spoke about it, it's like you think your life's hard. You think you're hard done by with the traumas and the stuff that you've experienced, but when you start to hear other people's stories, the stuff that they've been through, it kind of shakes you a wee bit, and you say, fucking hell, you know, I've not really been through that much compared to these people. How are they still managing to carry on? Do you know what I mean? So if you can give me some highlights and detail some of the stories that really stood with you and shook you.
Aye, well, as I said before and all, when I came in the doors of recovery, I always used to think, I lived in victim mentality for years. It was always poor Paul, man, poor this. Oh, it's how the fucking, just go and you get your bag and all that. It's poor you, Dave. See in these rooms, I started going about the rooms, I started to pick up guys bits of guys and lassies' stories. I started, like I said before, everybody can put your problems on the table and you can just take yours back out. Well, for the rooms and that, for I've about them, man, I had a good life. So I became grateful for my life. And it was all down to, like, there's guys in that, I've been in these rooms and they're sitting telling me they've lost their kids, you know what I mean? They've been in and out jail all their life. Their mums and dads didn't love them. That's all they ever craved was love. You know what I mean? And their dads used to batter them, and their dads never said, "Oh, I love you." And like, I wouldn't know what any of that was. I had a fucking good life, you know what I mean, compared to the things. And some of the things are totally heartbreaking in these. Like, as you've seen, guys have come in and opened up and shares in front of you, and some of the things are fucking heartbreaking, man. Here, guys losing their partners too. Lassies losing their partners through drug overdoses. My mum that comes to the group, she lost my brother through a heroin overdose, and then my granddad too through alcohol addiction. So addiction, and that's been in our family too. But in these rooms, like, I totally realised how good a life I had and how much everybody actually loved me. And I've told you before, I know, Jim, a lot of people haven't got support too. Like, I had a shit load of support in my thing where I wouldn't be here, I'd be fucking 6 foot under, man.
I think that's an important subject, because when we were speaking about it, it's like people look down on people and they judge them and stuff for being addicts or being in and out of prison or being homeless, but they don't realise they need, if they've not got any family or they've not got anybody to help them, then that's the inevitable. That's what's going to happen to people. And me and you were in similar situations where we were both very lucky, because if I never had the help of my family, I would have been in the same situation. I'd have been locked up, or I'd have been in prison, or I would have been homeless, because I was after rails, a bit like yourself. So if you never had the help of your family, think of where you could have ended up. You might not have been sitting here.
No, I'd definitely be dead. Like, I'm so grateful for my family, man. I'm so lucky to have a family like that that's stuck by me, partner stuck by me, my mum and dad stuck by me, sisters and all that. Run about fucking through mayhem just to try and get me better, when a lot of other people in these rooms and that haven't got that, and it's fucking heartbreaking when you need to hear it. You just wish like taking them fucking home, Jim.
It is, it's mad, but imagine taking a tribe like that up the road.
Oh, no.
You know, it'd be comical. I think we'll need to write a sketch about that. But it's madness, because I've seen so many people in my lifetime where people that I grew up with in the schemes and in the slums, really, and they've not made it. They've not made it into their 30s. Certainly not made it into their 40s. But when you look at their life and you think, why were they addicts? Why were they drinking every day? Why were they behaving like that? But most people don't question these things.
No.
You just think they're bad seeds, but it's all based on trauma, childhood trauma, whether it be
neglect and all that, abuse, everything like that.
It could be anything, you know what I mean? But people don't realise that they blame it on the way they're acting, they blame it on the drugs, but in the end, they're using that to block something out.
I was probably the worst person for it ever, Jim. Like, I used to judge proper judge people, junkies and all that. Like, you just don't know what's round the corner. I was the biggest one in Banter, know what I mean, last year. You just don't know what's round the corner, and there's people you see, I used to see them picking doubts up and that, and I'd slag them and that, but see if I came in the doors of recovery and got sober, now I sit and realise, why are they picking that up? Question, why are they picking the doubt up? What's made them get, see if they were taking brown or whatever it was, they wouldn't be around there doing that. They'd be a total different person. I was a rat for 20 years in my addiction, Jim. Like, honestly, like, nobody wanted to know me. Like, kind of thing, know what I mean? And then it's all, if I get sober, you totally change your person, everything changes about you. Like, that's what I mean. Like, if these people have got a chance in life, then they could have been a different person.
It's crazy as well, because if we're tapping back into the prison system, right, and the prison stories, I know we spoke about it earlier, but there was one that we really want to speak about. So you're talking about drugs and stuff like that. So if you're in that environment, right, the last thing you want is to be intoxicated in a way, because it's just going to get worse and worse for you. You're just going to end up in a chaotic mindset. You told me a story about how the drugs were actually getting into the prison, and the chaos that was really caused by staff members, screws. Can you talk me through that?
Aye, it was a bird fucking screws, man. It was mental in there. Obviously I hadn't been in a form that, so I didn't know what to expect. And then before you know it, man, fucking finding out this boy's shagging, man, screwed, man, and then the other one's saying, she's getting the tizzy in this week, she's getting the smack in, or the vowels or whatever, and you're like, what? This screws all looking me up at night.
So it was the female screws that were getting into
fucking one of the boys ended up in a relationship with Lyra and all that in there, man.
You're kidding me on?
No, man, fucking mental, man. Totally crazy.
They were getting in relationships and they were bringing the drugs in?
And they were bringing all the tizzy and fucking the Charlie, the cocaine, the Valium, heroin, everything was coming in through fucking... Obviously, some of them were getting it put on them, but some of them were just getting it fucking paid and then bringing it in. When I came in, it was Christmas time and all, so they be fucking mini Valium and they be mini NSGI things, and they were making hooch and all. I'd never drank any shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this place, man?
It's just like a big madhouse, isn't it?
Fucking crazy, man.
So see when you were there, did they ever get caught, the female screws that you were talking about? Did that make your headlines?
Well, they did. It made the headlines with one of the boys ended up in the relationship with one of them, that ended up. And then one of the boys ended up videoing it himself, getting after the bird too. Fucking, they don't give a fuck.
They got the footage then?
Aye, they got footage and all that.
So what happened to them? Did they get to jail?
I don't know. The bird?
Aye,
I think they probably lost their job, but aye, man, all that shit goes down, man.
They probably ended up in Cortonville and all. That was isn't it? It's crazy. So, Paul, I know there's many stories that you've told me in the past. There's many we've spoke about in part 1 and part 2, but I feel like you've got that many crazy stories. Is there another highlight that you could tell me that would really stand out and give the audience something to say, if he can go for that chaotic lifestyle, living like that and going through that, then I can change as well? Is there any other highlights that stand out to you?
Probably one. I was causing riots up and down my street one day. I was fucking fighting with this guy around the corner, slinging hammers and up these windows and try to get him out. But long story short, the police came. They've jailed me that day, and I get back out and I come straight back to that address, what I shouldn't have done. My missus had locked the door and the guy next door had a roof ladder, and I stayed at that story thing in my house, and I seen my window was open a wee bit. I didn't know this, but the police were in my house at the time talking to my missus, and I've set the ladder up and all that, set it up, right up on the window, just ready to jump in. The police are standing and hanging. Like, what you doing? So I've jumped in like that quickly. I'm on with my clays, but they've tried to grab us, but I've jumped back out the window and get down the ladder. So when I'm down the ladder, there's one's coming round the corner, because I'm not meant to be in the street. So I've been getting the fingers and all that shit, and they've been ripping the piss out of them, man. So they couldn't get us, and they were chasing us all the way around this corner. So I started running up, but there was another motor come down, and before you know it, man, they come right down, man, bang, I went up about 20 foot in the air. They took me up to the hospital and all that, and I ended up, I broke my ankle and all that, but that was, I had to sit in. They wouldn't take, never took me to the hospital, they took me to the cells, and they wouldn't take me to the hospital for a full day, so I had to sit in the cells with my ankle, couldn't move, couldn't walk or anything, and then I had to get carried up to Hare Myers to get seen. So
did you get ran over by the cop car then?
The police, it was the only way they could get us.
You're kidding me?
No, just put us about 20 foot up in the air, man. It was because I climbed in the window on the ladder. I was like, this is full of Valium and all that. This is the kind of things that
that's what I'm saying, that's a trauma as well. So you're lying in the cell with the was it broke?
Aye, they kept coming in saying, I hope it's there, shouting things in and all that. They were shouting, how's your grub? So the cell things will be all there, so I'm making you walk out for it. They wouldn't give me it earlier, and I couldn't walk. I was in agony, I was greeting and everything. Aye, man, they put me about 20 foot up in the air, man. The only way they could catch us.
That's what I mean. So when you are acting like a nutcase and you're giving them all this shite and stuff like that, they're getting their rein back on you.
Oh, aye,
they're always going to be treating you like that because you're treating them like that, you know, so it's tit for tat.
Definitely.
For them to try and make you walk to get your dinner with a broken ankle, that's just sick. So what was your experience in the hospital then?
In the hospital, it was just really getting fixed up and all that, but it was they took you back to there, know what I mean? And then I get bailed again, and I think I got a tag for that before. That's what I mean, all the shite in your addiction. Like, I've still got glass and that thing for Bell's Hill the last time, like for 3 years ago. All this needs to come out, man. And that was trauma that time. I nearly died that time.
It's good for you to be able to speak about that stuff, mate, and hopefully that sends out a good message to anybody watching that's still in that chaotic lifestyle, showing them that Aye, we can act like nutcases and go through all this crazy stuff with the system and the police and prison, but we can also change it all around.
Aye, there's only one winner there all the time, and it's the police. We've never got to win in our addiction and that, man. As I said, man, you're too wise that you ends up graveyard or prison. It's your choice.
So obviously you've done a lot of time in prison, you've been on a tag, you've done different things. Did you ever do any community service? Were you ever sentenced to that?
I got community service along with this tag on the 1st of March, but I started doing that, I couldn't be bothered not to start with obviously at first, but I just, as soon as I went, I'd started to be battered in, got done every week. I was doing it every week. I got 160 hours, and obviously it was the 1st of March. A lot of guys have still got a lot of hours, like 9 months down the line. I went and asked for a thing called a rag rug, and you get 60 hours off your hours for doing it, and so you make up this like a rug and you donate it for a dog or whatever it is they do it for. So I done that, and they also took hours off for Addicted2Life for running main meetings. During that, they'd seen that all the managers in the community service building seen that I was running my meetings and doing things like that, and just last week a job came up with the community service. They're looking for a peer support recovery worker, and the managers and that were all phoning us and saying apply for that. So I've applied for that. The closing date's tomorrow and all, so, and I've went and I've emailed the guy and all that's dealing with it and all, and he's telling me the closing date's tomorrow. So I've not done any refusals or that either, but so that's, as I said before, Jim, my main goal is in life now is to get myself into full-time employment working in the substance field of work, you know what I mean? Help others, help myself at the same time. This is what I like to be doing every day.
It's amazing, mate, because I also done community service. Mine's wasn't as great a story as yours, right enough. It was full of chaos. I can maybe tell you about it. But so what type of, did you know people that was on the bus and stuff like that?
There was a few guys out, like obviously if they had new in the jails and stuff like that. There was like some right nutters out there and all, but there's in community service, that's another place. That's just like the council. Everybody's full of it. Like bouncing on things out, taking, sitting with bags of Valium and all that. There's a big massive need for recovery in community service, and I think that job's got my name out of it, man. I'm telling you that I want that job so much, and I think I can help a lot in that job down there. And so obviously the managers they take, because they phoned me and messaged me on Facebook. No, they know what I do, and I've got them on Facebook, so they see what I do. I can put a lot of help down there.
I think you'd be the best guy for the job, to be honest with you, and it's no coincidence with them phoning you.
I know, after just finishing, know what I mean?
But I think that job will be yours. I think when we talk about this subject later on, whether it be part 3 or documentaries, whatever it is, you'll be in it, and I'm sure you'll be plenty of stories to tell. You'll be a manager doing it, and I'll be on community service. No, but I've actually got a few stories for community service myself. I don't know, they're not as inspiring as yours, but you tapped on something there when you says it's full of addiction, because that was very similar when I was doing community service. I was only about 20 years old, and it was based in the Cabrain area, and it was all people for Cabrain. They were all mad, they were all mental, and I was going straight for partying. I think it was a Sunday I done, right? So I was partying on the Friday and the Saturday, and then I would be up all night taking all sorts of drugs, drinking, and then I would never miss the community service because I knew I would end up locked up. So I thought I need to go, you know, but I was always, and the guy was so brand new because he could smell the drink off me, but he never reported me once because it was just like a big joke to me, just a big laugh on the bus. There was one incident that stood out. I came straight for a party, right? And we went up to the bus and they're all stoned and they're all fucking bravado and ego, but I was never really into fighting or nothing like that. I just liked to write good carry on, right? So I always sat in the front with the driver. I must have done his nothing. So I was just up to mischief, right? Just a mischievous wee pain in the arse. And he was outside talking to like the group, and I jumps into the front and I was steaming. I was still steaming. And it was one of the old vans, it had the big massive handbrake, and I've pulled the handbrake far up as I possibly could, right? And you know, the guy couldn't get the handbrake done to go to the job, and he ended up sending us all home, and we all went straight back to the party. And that was one of the comedy things I was telling in the party, you know. And he's like, "There's something wrong with this fucking handbrake," you know what I mean? But that just shows you the chaotic behaviour when you're young.
Aye.
I wouldn't dream of doing anything like that. No, I wouldn't like somebody to do that to me. You know, but that just shows you. So if you do get a job on there, you need to watch out for nutters like that. No, but good on you, mate.
Cheers, Jim.
No, but it's good to be sitting with you talking about these things. Like I said, inspirational. So for the people that are watching, right, and they're wanting to reach out and help, because there'll be so many. Like I said, the episodes are growing a wider audience every day. It's such a beautiful message that you're sending out, creating that purpose for yourself, like we spoke about. But how do people reach out to you then, to the group Addicted to Life? How do you make it evolve better and faster?
I went and get leaflets and that made enough, so I was putting them in shop windows and through doors and stuff like that, and just giving them to people to hand out. But I've got a TikTok channel, obviously, that you obviously know that I run. That I've got an Instagram and a Facebook. The email's paulbarrett.recovery@gmail.com, and my phone number's on that as well. If anybody's struggling or that, you reach out on any of the platforms at all. I'm always there for people to reach out to.
Brilliant, mate. And I think as well, when we were talking about stuff, everybody's got their own individual journey of healing, right? So whether it be AA, NA, CA, the 12 steps, or a solo journey. Mine was a solo journey. I couldn't, because I don't like rules and regulations or people tell me what to do, and some people can look down on that, right? No. But I think see if you're open-minded, right, and you can actually say, look, if that works for them, then just let them be.
Right.
You know, you can't contain people in a way, and that's what I really found special about your group, because it's no like you're saying to people, this is how you heal, this is the way that you need to do it. Because a lot of people can be put off by that, right? And but that system does work for a lot of people, and respect it. Thousands and thousands, if not millions, of people have got help that way, right? And like I said, it's the individual's path. But I think the special thing about your group is there's no rules, there's no regulations. You just come along. You don't need to share, but you can sit in a circle and listen to people. And I think when I sat there and I listened to people, some people were no going to share, and then it kind of inspired them on to say, oh wait a minute, I want to speak here. Maybe the first time coming to the group and stuff. That's a massive thing, because they kind of feel like part of something, you know, and they can change their life. So again, amazing, mate.
Cheers, Jim.
So see, is there any other stories that stand out within your group that you're allowed to speak about that really, really gripped you, like really got hold of you and inspired the full team, really?
There's been a few, man. It's just, there's all kind of similar ones. Like, ones affect me different for others. Like, ones will affect me, like, when people start bringing up their veins and that, like, I just start greeting straight away, man. Like, I'm murder. As you see now, and I greet every fucking week at them. But things like that, like, people have been for totally, they got their... There's one probably that's inspired me, like, for that, but that was the guy that got me kind of to see that there was hope in the recovery. For the one that came out, as I said, he's came out to my house for Turning Point when he was for high planter, and he was totally riddled with heroin, you know what I mean? At the bottomless pit of despair he was at, you know what I mean? And he came out to my house 5 year clean, and that's why I'm sitting here right now. I'm telling you that now, man. I wouldn't be TikToking, there wouldn't be meetings, there wouldn't be Paul Barrett, but there is today. And it's down to that guy, man, and I'll be fucking forever grateful for that.
I think it's mad because it can take just something, and you've took inspiration for that, because you're looking at him and you're thinking, if he was in a worse state than me, he was deep in addiction with heroin and that chaotic lifestyle, if he can go for that terrible state of mind to then be the guy that's coming into your door, then
a full-time job.
Be a full-time job helping people. And I believe when you're helping people, you'll get good back eventually. People are saying, oh, I don't believe in karma and stuff like that, but you get good karma and bad karma. And I do believe when you're putting out good to the world, eventually you will get good back to yourself, do you know what I mean, and your family.
Nice.
So that must have been an inspiration for you as well, to be able to see the light that guy had, and then for him to then give that to you.
Aye, definitely. That's like, see in the rooms and all, I get my inspiration for other people in the room and the energy and all. Like, see when they're telling stories and it's getting running, they're saying they're broken and that, and then they're actually saying they're thanking me and stuff like that. That fucking kills me, you know what I mean? Like, with good feeling and all, but obviously I've got a fucking mitre ball the size of a rope, you know what I mean?
Anytime I've been there, I can see you starting to...
I wake up every week, man.
But it shows you the true emotions.
It's because I care about them all, know what I mean? And then seeing that wee light going on in all their eyes again and coming back after them been broken and bang, they're buzzing and you're like, you feel good, man.
I think it's special because it's fresh. You know what I mean? It's like, as you said, there's no rules, there's no nothing, but it's fresh and they're feeling good coming along on a Saturday morning.
Right. And even if they're feeling bad, I guarantee everybody leaves feeling that meeting feeling good. Because if I notice that there's people feeling bad, I just pull the speaker out, get a wee shuffle or something going, and then, as you know, there's people open up, they break down, they laugh, you get everything in that meeting, and that's what it's all about, man. There's total recovery in that meeting.
It's definitely, mate, and it's inspiring, mate. So again, well done for that, and I'm looking forward to see the group just growing and growing and growing and becoming not just massive in this country, but worldwide, mate. I think it's really starting to get a grip, a massive audience, and really make a massive impact, not just in the community but in the country, mate.
I've got people from Ireland and all that, Dublin and all that, Cork and all that, saying, can you get meetings over here? I was like, I can't.
Well, I'll get with you. No, but good on you, mate, right? So, see, before we finish up on this episode, if there's another message that you could send out to the audience watching, now is the time.
I might get a bit emotional with this one, right, because it's the one that I get in my group.
Just take your time, mate.
If yous are struggling with addiction and yous have got kids or anything like that, like, yous don't understand the knock-on effect this is. See, if addiction leads to two roads and it's a prison yard or a graveyard, and see if it's a graveyard, our kids need to get ready in their wee funeral suits. They need to go to our funerals that day. They need to see us getting put in the ground, and then they need to ask where their daddy is the rest of their life. Then it's, and later in life they've got total knock-on effect. They end up picking up our habits, things like that. And I mean this to now, man. Like, see, coming to meetings, you pick up gratitude, you pick up self-worth, you want to have self-care, anything like that. Come to my meeting, I promise you this, I guarantee you this, you'll get better. Cheers, Jim.
It's powerful, mate. It's powerful. I'd like to thank you so much for coming on again. Such an amazing message that you send out, Paul. Getting me emotional.
You're getting emotional myself.
And I'm looking forward to working alongside you with different projects further along the lines. I'm sure we'll get a part 3 in the future, just to keep a follow-up on the story, mate, and keep doing what you're doing, mate. I just think it's really inspiring, so well done.
Thanks very much. Cheers, Jim, for having me on again, man. It's been opportunity after opportunity with you. Cheers, mate.
Thanks again, mate.